Aho Matakiyasan. In this video, I'm going to break down one of the teachings from my mentor, Joseph Greywolf. Treat every day like a ceremony. Greywolf was actually my mentor's mentor. I was lucky enough to meet him in Sedona. He actually died in the beginning of this year, so you can't work with him in the 3D. You can connect with his soul. But if you are interested in hearing more what Greywolf teaches, there is one interview of him on YouTube that I have found. You can just search Joseph Greywolf, and some beautiful teachings. He is full of wisdom and love. And so when I met him, he told me a bunch of cool things about Sedona, his story, gave me a bunch of cool spots to go and explore in Sedona. But the one thing that he said to me that really struck home that I needed to hear was treat every day like a ceremony. So I've been thinking about that, contemplating that, and so this applies, all the things I'm about to talk about, they apply to treating every day like a ceremony. Also, if you're in a ceremony, these are some great tips and pointers that I've learned throughout my years. And when I say ceremony, I'm not talking about a graduation ceremony or a wedding ceremony, which is more like a formality. It's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about initiation ceremony, a plant medicine ceremony, vision quest ceremony, or even something like an ice bath, some kind of situation that you're putting yourself in that you're gonna go through it. It's gonna be an experience. And we can treat every day like this. Every day can be a divine experience. So the first thing that comes to mind when contemplating this idea is there should be an opening and a closing of the ceremony. If you ever do a plant medicine journey and there's no closing of the ceremony, there can be consequences. You can continue going into these states and it can mess up your life. You might not be able to sleep. You might not be able to think. You might not be able to function in the normal way that you need to in the world. That's a little caveat. So opening and closing ceremonies, for my life, how I apply this is the first thing I do when I wake up is I say a prayer and I do my breathwork, meditation. That's the first thing I do. Instantly, I'm awake. I go into my gratitude, my prayer, and I open the ceremony. I ask to be shown what I need to see, what do I need to hear, what do I need to integrate, how can I be of service? And I treat it like I'm going into a ceremony, which I am. My life is now my ceremony. Everything is divinely orchestrated. You watching this video is no coincidence. And at the highest level, you created this whole situation for your own growth, for your own potential to move beyond it, to grow out of it. So we have to approach our life in that same divine understanding. And another insight Greywolf told me, which I love, is so you do your prayers, you ask to be shown what you need to see, what you need to hear, what you need to learn. Be open to all that. Open your heart, open your mind, be open to receive, and then go through breath. Whether you're in a ceremony, a plant medicine ceremony, an ice bath, or life, we need to consciously breathe. We can only be as abundant and prosperous as deep as we can breathe. We can only connect to life as deep as we can breathe. I've worked with people that have so much armor, so much constriction in their body that it's difficult for them to take a deep breath. They literally can't breathe because they have all this armor, all this constriction, all this tightness, and for them to breathe, they can only breathe into their upper chest. They can only go. I try and work with them, and sometimes they get better, sometimes they're not open to it, and especially like cops, police officers, I've noticed they have to have a lot of armor to do their job, and for them to open up enough to breathe deeply, it's very difficult for them. So conscious breathing, complete game changer. And the breath work that I'm going to offer you, this practice, you can use this in the opening ceremony of your day. So Greywolf, he says, you can use your finger to point to your nose. You don't have to, but he offers, it's just a little reinforcement. So point to your nose, inhale through your nose. And we're going to inhale love. And then we exhale gratitude. So we inhale love from the world and exhale gratitude into the world. And when we do this, we close our eyes. We go within to the vast space that we occupy. We do this 4 times. So one more time, inhale through your nose. Inhale the love. Exhale gratitude into the world. And just doing that, I already feel lighter. I feel more connected. I feel more centered. So conscious breathing, opening, closing the ceremony. Another thing I kind of touched on, I'd like to go a little deeper, is that going within. Anytime we are going through some difficult challenges, whether in our day-to-day life or in a ceremony or either one, because it's the same thing, we have the option to close our eyes and go within. And this is the only place that we are truly alone in the world. We occupy our own energy. We can clear our energy field, which I've made a video about that. Clear our energy field, make sure it's only us, and then when we go within that space, we have access to the infinite, vast space of existence. And in that space, we allow our body to heal. We allow our gut microbiome to regrow. We allow our nervous system to regulate. All the Joe Dispenza studies that he's done with all his 7-day meditation retreats, the amount of changes that happen when you meditate regularly is insane. He's proven you can clear tumors from cancer. You can reorganize your gut microbiome to regrow a healthy biome. You can change your blood work. All these incredible changes that he didn't even think was possible. He's realizing now that it's all possible, and it comes through that meditation, going within, finding that vast space. It actually reminds me of a story. There was a Tibetan mystic named Morpa, and he became enlightened. He it became realized. And when he became realized, people started asking him. They wanted to know, so what's different? What's changed for you now that you're enlightened? And his response was interesting. He said, nothing's different. It's the exact same as before. And everyone's confused. What do you mean? He said, it's the same as before, but with a difference. The difference is I can now go within and find peace and love. I can go within to the vast, infinite nature of my inner being, and I can find peace and harmony. And then I can go out into the world, and all the misery, all the suffering is still there. But the difference is I found this space, this retreat that I always have access to. So when you do find that inner resource, it changes everything. Whether you're, like I said, in ceremony or in your day-to-day life, you can find 4 breaths, you can find 5 minutes, find some time, go within, recharge, go back into the world. Anything else? The last thing I would say, so we have opening, closing the ceremony, breath, conscious breathing, and then going within when we need to. The last thing is, remember you are in alignment with everything that is happening. There's no coincidences. You are the director, the witness, the actor, the playwright. You do it all. This is all. There's only one consciousness, fractaled. I keep saying that every video now, but there's only one consciousness, and it's you. And you decided this whole place, this whole situation. It's all your creation. So own that. And when you own that, there's no victims. Not that you can't come across a situation where you're being victimized, but you will not identify with being the victim. You will identify with being the creator, and you'll start looking for solutions rather than staying stuck in this lower victim frequency. So remember, whatever you come across in your life, in your day-to-day, it's all in alignment with your higher self. It's all there for a reason, and it's our job to figure out what lessons we need to learn, what ways we can grow and solve our problems. And eventually we get to the point where we realize they're not really problems. Doesn't mean it's not challenging, doesn't mean it's not a big deal in our life, but it's our own creation. We don't need to fight it. We need to embrace it. And when that happens, yeah, this is Earth Soul Garden. This is how we grow our soul on Earth. We can use all the situations to our fullest potential to actualize who we came to this place to be. So yeah, those are my biggest takeaways with treating every day as a ceremony. It is all divinely ordained by you, for you. Open the ceremony, and then close the ceremony as well. When we close the ceremony, before I go to bed, I'll reflect, I'll say a prayer, I can do some breathing, inhale love, exhale gratitude, find my center, I can let all my grievances out, all my questions, and really just kind of close the day, reflect, take a moment, and when we do that, then we can move into the dream state where we can do work a little more freely. You can move a little further and quicker in that dream space, in the astral space. So I hope that you got some insights from that. If you're interested in working one-on-one, I offer readings, I offer coaching. Please book a session, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I love you. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.